Hello, Warriors. Dale Pinkert with TradeGate Hub with you. If you've been following me, you know that my theme was the Bears will feast on Thanksgiving. The Bears feast on Thanksgiving. The Bulls have their turn on Christmas. On the menu for the Bears feast this week was precious metals. Bears feasting on the short side, negating the breakout. Believe that you can be patient. There will be rallies here in the gold. Bears feasted on silver. Silver trying to put in some type of consolidation formation. The Bears feasted on Nasdaq, right? I think this was a significant high. Viewers know that I've been looking for a pullback to the prior high around 15.7. So there still could be some more left in this going into next week. Same scenario in the S&Ps, although Nasdaq is leading it because of higher yields, more sensitive to higher yields, which we got in spades with what's happened to TLT. Pretty negative week, not as negative as the short-term rates. We're almost at 170 on the 10-year. I made a call for 2% 10-year by year end. I see no reason for me to change that forecast. We're on the verge of breaking out over 170, and we could be there, well within that time range. One of the best forecasts and trading suggestion was made on Sunday evening, and that was a buy in the crude oil market on a 3-drive formation that we had. Maybe you could see it on the 1 hour. Here it was. 1, 2, 3, take a picture. Never saw this low again. We were long from the 75 level. I started booking it here yesterday. Now, crude, I believe, still might have 80 in it. I'm not sure if this is going to be the lows, which was something else. I said cover shorts at 76 to 75, and here we are. So we'll see. There could be one more decline left in crude, and we might try 80. It feels like Friday to me, but we have a holiday here in the US tomorrow and a shortened session on Friday. So I'm flattening out into next weekend. I may attempt another short in the WTI up around 80. So this was a $10 decline. We had another $10 decline from 80 would take us to 70, which brings into play these speed lines and this moving average here. So it may be from today, but I'm expecting one more decline in crude. Maybe both crude and S&Ps begin to follow through to the downside together. Crude definitely led the way for an S&P correction. I'm not looking for a crash. I'm looking for a correction. But the crude topped really about 4 or 5 weeks ago before we got this huge outside day. This candle right here, I think, was significant in the NASDAQ for this pullback to, let's call it the 50-day moving average, 50-day moving average. Now, when it comes to gold, the bulls have one more hope here, and it's this uptrend line here that's coming in next week around, say, the 1765 level or so. If this gets taken out, I don't know how they're going to rationalize it. First of all, when I was on earlier in the week and talked about gold negating its breakout, if you took that seriously, you're not still long from 1827, 1830. You have another $50 drawdown, whether we're long and, do the right thing today and tomorrow takes care of itself. And really the right thing was to reverse longs on a failed breakout. Also, the failed breakout that happened in silver, this a lot of people were keyed in on this head and shoulders formation. The breakout went nowhere. It gave you 4 or 5 days to buy it underneath the breakout. Be skeptical. I think that silver could 2280 is maybe a hope early next week, but both the gold and silver now, to me, look destined for lower levels. I could make a case when I look at the gold now for possibly, 1600, 1560. I know that's a big call, but I think that could happen now. Here's a news flash for everybody. The dollar index, I was looking for a turn in the dollar index this week for a counter trend move. Here's the news flash. I was wrong. Okay, so I talked about being long the euro from 1236, and there were a couple of intraday scalps to make a little money off of, and from the 1236 level, we had this one push up here and then another push up here. So the value of partial profits is I did take 30 pips off the table from entry, and I did hold on to half and use the original stop. So it was minus 30 on euro, and the dollar index, I used a 50 pip stop, and about to be stopped out here as well. But I would not buy the dollar right now at these levels, and here's the reason. You're getting all kinds of divergences here in the euro. Still looks like a potential 3 drive. In fact, if you're an aggressive trader, you could start scaling in now, because I think there's still going to be a reaction. You get the timing wrong sometimes, but that's why you probe and protect, so that you didn't have any serious financial injury. You took the partial profit, and now you could be reconsidering the long again. Just because it didn't work this week doesn't mean that it's not going to work this week. Look at this glaring divergence that we have all the way down. We haven't confirmed the low since back here. That was a week ago. So for over a week, we've been making marginal new lows. To me, it looks like there's some compression building up. It has the look of a falling wedge. So here's the look here. Something like this. Yeah. Where we're experiencing a little bit of a throw over right now. So close it back over 112 will look good. Canada's acting despite a strong dollar. Canada's fading again here. Okay, so I think Canada, the top is most likely in here, and we're not having a fantastic week. When you look at how strong the dollar was this week, Canada for the week, and there will be some trading on Friday, and they'll be trading in Europe tomorrow, even though it's Thanksgiving here in the US. But for the week, 26.36. So it's still up about 50 pips on the week, but there is a little wick here. At least it's leaving some type of wick for perhaps another leg down, under 26.5. We could come all the way back down to the breakout at 25. I actually think there's a chance for a real deep one, back towards retesting and even going to 22. So, I've seen the DSI at 9 on euro. So I wouldn't get too bulled up over the dollar right now. I have higher targets, 97.5, 98. So we're either going right there, which, I feel late to just buy the dollar here anywhere, or we're going to get at least one more pullback in the dollar back towards this 94.5 level, prior highs. And it could be, the catalyst could be the PCE. But I would be cautious on the gold. The shares also look pretty vulnerable, the gold shares. Here's one that really has held up quite well, Goldfields. I mean, look at what happened in gold, and look at how this gold share is holding up. If that's not relative strength, I've never seen it. GDX, not as well. It's barely hanging on to 32, under 32. A lot of people are going to get out. We could have retests of lows. Yamana, same situation. Are they going to turn it big here if the dollar turns, or are we going to wash to new lows? I don't think you get her trying it in here, but I would get out of the way at new lows. So some of the gold shares, Newmont's starting to have a better tone, and it didn't have such a great tone. And you know, this is a good sign, especially if there's a big continuation move in the gold and the shares begin to not participate to the downside with the same degree as the bullion. And that would tell me that we're pretty close to an important gold buy. I can't make that judgment going home today. I could still make the judgment that interest rates look higher to me. It looks like we're on, you know, our way to the 2% call. And S&Ps, we're finally going to get that. Too many people embracing the melt up scenario, and they're going to get shaken out. They'll start getting worried when we're down here in Nasdaq and when we're down here in the S&Ps, that maybe this was it, and it could be. I favor, because of momentum, especially in Nasdaq, you know, even though we diverge, look at that reading, it was over 80. The S&Ps diverged. That was pretty glaring, but it's my view that we'll pull back into this range and we'll have one more blow off rally. A lot of people talking 4,900 or so. So anyway, the theme of the bears, they probably have some indigestion from being short and taking all these markets down. I mean, this was a pretty good short. What we're talking about 2% there, and in Nasdaq a real nice short from almost 16.8. So that's about 4%, 3-4% in a week. And I know the week's not done, but look at that candle in Nasdaq. So we took out last week's high early Monday when the S&Ps were 47.42, and now we're on the verge, or we have taken out last week's lows. Last week's lows were 60.90. What is it now? No, we haven't taken out last week's lows yet. And the off number, the 2-week off number, is 62.10. So if by Friday we're under 210, you have a nice little 2-week reversal. That hasn't happened since back here. So I think the trade is on for this 5% correction in the market to shake out a lot of the bulls, and then we get perhaps one more run into late this year, early next year, and then I think the market's going to be even more vulnerable than it is here. But intermittently, and it may be starting right from here, you know, the euro's starting to turn. I still like it. I'm still accumulating it. Sometimes it takes, usually when you're looking for turns, it usually takes longer than you think. Everything to turn around takes longer than you think. But, you know, I'm constructive the euro here. So, you know, I'm going to just gut it out. I still think there's a shot for a nice rally in the next week or so, some type of relief rally, or maybe that's going to be it. Let's look at the weekly off number, another negative week. So next week, the off number is going to be 112.80. So I think that's achievable. And let's see, anything else I want to, you know, had a decent week in SQQQ, which is the triple bearish Qs. Russell has given plenty back. It, you know, it better start to hold in here. Look at, we're back to the breakout in the Russell. So I know some people talking 249. Russell's got to dig its heels in here. Otherwise, Was this just one final thrust and it's terminating, which would have made this a wave 4 with the final terminal thrust to the upside, and now we're going to negate the breakout? I'll just have to wait and see into next week. But you know, my calls are for 5% here, so why can't we get 5% in the Russell? The only difference was this was supposedly supposed to be such an important candle, breaking out of a 7-month consolidation. What's it doing back here? And giving me a chance to buy it there when I may not have bought it here. So I'm a little jaded about Mr. Market accommodating me to buy a test of the breakout 3 weeks after it happened. I think we should have been accelerating, but the jury's out on this. VIX had a good week. Can't argue with it. Nice candle. Look, you know, we can make a move on this 5% correction back towards 30 again. So VIX is looking good. And I do think that we will have some nice long-term buys in the metals and the mining shares. You know, looks like Yamana could form a broader flag down here at 331, and maybe Newmont still wants this 200-week moving average. Silver, the junior miners, maybe they have one more washout left in them. They held the 200, but I think in the next several weeks, when the dollar's done, and I think there's an intermittent pullback prior, that by then perhaps we're looking at a nice panic flush out bottom in the precious metals to buy them and hold them for a few years. So stay tuned. I hope we're helping you out and you're learning, not just hearing my analysis, but you're also learning some of my methods. And that's going to be a wrap. Everyone that celebrates Thanksgiving, have a great Thanksgiving holiday. And it's so nice. I mean, this year you can gather with your family compared to last year where you were kind of lucky if you had a hungry man's turkey dinner. And tell the people you're with how you feel about them. They're not mind readers. And I want to thank the whole crew at TradeGate Hub for producing these videos, and our support from TradeView and all the guys I've met here in the last year. Glad to be part of the family. Invite you to become part of our community and join us here. Bring your charts, bring your questions. And if you're hungry and thirsting for trading knowledge, we're here to provide it for you. And with that being said, I know Thanksgiving is tomorrow, but don't just count your pips, count your blessings. Don't press alongside the dollar here. Be patient for longs in gold and silver, and get ready to buy this market, maybe 100 lower in the S&Ps and another 300 lower or so in Nasdaq for the Santa Claus rally. But congratulations, Bears. They were due to have a week. Every bear has its day. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'll see you on Monday.